Hello, voice teacher. Oh my goodness. I am so excited that you clicked on this episode because today is a special day. We are joined by the wonderful Lauren Ireland of Singsana on today's episode. I'm so excited to introduce Lauren to you. Lauren is a vocal coach from Canada who's seriously one of those teachers that does it all. She does it all. She's been teaching private lessons for over 20 years. She's an educator, she's a director, and honestly, she wears so many hats that we could sit here forever just listing off everything that she does. She offers online courses and masterclasses, group classes, and my personal favorite, her singing group of adults called The Extremities, which is a local community vocal ensemble that insists that they're not a quote-unquote bleeping choir, which we talk all about in this episode. It is so funny. It's so fun. She is so great. She's built a very robust and loyal community where she's at. And it's just been so cool to see how she leverages this community to scale her own teaching business. She has become really savvy at creating multiple offers, selling those different offers to her same audience, and tailor making these offers exactly how they request them. She truly goes above and beyond for her community. She also co-runs a nonprofit organization called The Show, which is for young performers to have more opportunities to perform in her area in Calgary. Oh, and did I mention that she's a mom of 2 young kids? Because there's that as well. So yeah, she is one of those people where you see everything she's doing and you're like, how do you do it? And that's why I brought her onto the podcast. Her ability to get shit done is so freaking admirable. I am so excited for you to hear all of the nuggets of wisdom that she shares, from how she uses group classes to fill her private studio, to how she built a course and a membership program with over 100 videos in it. She does it all. And if you've ever been wondering how to make the time to do it all yourself, you want to teach, you want to sing, you want to build your business, maybe you're even a parent yourself, you are going to love this episode with Lauren. If at any point during the episode you laugh or you smile or you have an aha moment, be sure to take a screenshot and tag us over on Instagram so that we can share you with our audience and continue supporting one another. Enjoy. This podcast is for professional voice teachers to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want. I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur podcast. Hello, lovely Lauren. Oh my goodness. I am so freaking pumped that you are on the Voicepreneur podcast. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It is summer, so things are much more relaxed and I feel like I have space and I'm in a very good mental space, so that's good.
Oh, I love that so much. And that's so pleasant to hear from you because girl always has so much going on, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And oh my gosh, we have been trying to have, even today I was laughing, like we've been trying to have this conversation because here's what happened, y'all. Lauren and I already did this freaking episode and it was so good. And then my computer decided to do some weird technical glitches. And when I went to edit it, I was like, this is just not going to do. I tried so hard to make it work, but I'm like, this is going to be even better because so much has transpired since the last time we chatted. And there's so many new things that you're offering and so many new experiences that you've probably had since then. So I'm really excited that we finally made this work. So thank you.
It's going to be way better, so get ready.
It's going to be so good. Yes, we are talking all about how to really balance it all. One of the things that I have loved about you, Lauren, and the first thing that I noticed about you when we first connected, which by the way, do you remember what year that was? Was that 2020? I was trying to remember today. It was, yeah, like summer, something like that. Yeah, so cool. Wow, crazy 3 years. Something that you really showcase like right from the get-go is that you are one of those people where it's like, bring it on. Oh, I can do that thing? Okay, sure. Oh, add that. Okay, sure. And you just have this attitude of like, there is nothing that stops you. And I've never ever seen you get overwhelmed. It kind of blows my mind. You're like my husband like that.
Oh,
Like, what is up with you,
no.
you special magical
Oh,
creatures?
well, you haven't seen me at night when I'm stressed out. Hello, I get overwhelmed
Yes.
all the time. You know why I get overwhelmed? Because let's say when I get information from your program, I think in my head, she just gave me the answer. She just told me how to do it. Now I have to do it. And so my to-do list just continues to grow. And I look at it and I go, okay, I know I can do all of these things. I'm not going to do them all today, obviously. And then you got to figure out how to do it. So
Mm.
I appreciate you because you've definitely sparked a lot of uh, ideas in my brain and basically given me the answers to how to do things. But then when that happens, of course, I'm like, I have to do it now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, and that's what's so funny is like, yeah, I would be, okay, yeah, we want to scale your already freaking massive, awesome, amazing private studio as it is with your groups, which we'll talk about. And then it was like, oh, here's how to do it. And then Lauren does it times five. You're like, I'm going to make this program and this course and this thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, you just take it and run with it. And I love it so much. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit because people are like, who is Lauren and what is all of this? So, Lauren does a lot of things. You live in Canada and you run groups, you run courses, you have a membership, you obviously have private students. You're kind of like the go to teacher that for us teachers in terms of the inspiring role model of the one who's doing it all. Now, I know you have not always been doing it all, and it continues to grow and grow and grow every year. When I met you, April, May, somewhere around there in 2020, maybe it was a little later, I can't remember, but somewhere around then, you were doing groups, your extremities group, which I'm
Yes.
obsessed with this, and private lessons. So tell us a little bit about your background with that, because you already were really having like a successful studio. Like you were already having this big bang in business. Did you have business training? Like, how did you even get this thing rolling in the first place? Give us a look on how that looked for you.
Well, before, I mean, we met at a unique time. It was the pandemic. So I wasn't doing all the group things in person that I normally do. So I was basically just doing Singsana. And I say that in quotations just because it turned out to be a lot of work during the pandemic. It was a very fruitful time, but it wasn't the format that obviously I was used to. And I've been working with groups since university. So I was that person that if the choral teacher at university was not there, I would be the sub, which was very intimidating because it was my peers that I would have to conduct and teach. So I've had a lot of practice, and people have believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I have always been a yes person. Can you do this? Sure. And in my head, I'm like, I'll figure it out later. and it has always worked out. I've never let myself down. Now, that came with a lot of anxiety and stress when I would say yes and I really didn't know what I was doing. But over time, I now know my limitations and what I'm willing to do and what I can do well. So that has evolved. But I mean, I started teaching in 2001. So do the math, guys. That's a long
Mm.
time ago. I was 18 when I started teaching. I was a little baby teacher, didn't really know really much. I just taught what I was taught, much like every other teacher. And then, of course, I was in a music degree program in voice. So I learned a lot of technique and things there. I also wanted to focus my attention on choral directing. So I did a lot of like choral directing and conducting courses within my degree because I love harmonies. They're the best part about singing. Come at me, argue with me. They're the most juicy thing ever. So
Yes.
I always love having that in front of me. But out of university, I was teaching at the studio that I was raised in, so to speak, and I was making $20 an hour, and there was no way that I was ever going to move out of my parents' house. So, so in 2008, I started Singsana. So I left
Mm.
that studio. I started Singsana. I had moved out of my parents' house, so I had my own little space about the size of a big bathroom. And we hauled a real upright piano to the second floor. And I taught out of that room for many years. And I taught one on one. And then I created a musical theater for teens class. And that class was intended for us to create basically just numbers for festival because it was hard to schedule people. So I made it a class, which was a smart
Mm.
idea. Now, while I was doing this, I started working for a performing arts company in the city called the Young Canadians of the Calgary Stampede. And I was a young Canadian when I was in high school, so it was like very near and dear to my heart. And the musical director there was like, "You need to come teach here. You know how this works. Come and do that." And all of a sudden, I'm in front of 150 teenagers. Guess who wants, like, they just wanted lessons after they had me in front of them. So that was a very fruitful time as well because I was teaching them at Young Canadians, and then their parents were like, "Well, we want to do private lessons with you as well." And then I was just maxed. I was at
Mm.
capacity. So I moved. I got this we built a house. Now have this beautiful space that can fit up to 20 people. And parents were starting to say, "My kid is having so much fun with you. I want to have fun with you too." And so birthed the extremities. It started
Mm.
very casual. It was like, "All right, let's rotate who brings a bottle of wine. We'll each have like a glass or two." And I didn't even prepare music. I was just like, "Here's lyrics. I'm going to teach you some harmonies. Let's do it." And over time, they were like, "Wow, we're like really good. You should perform." And I was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna need to take the drinking down. I'm gonna get sheet music. We're gonna have to plan a show." And now it's monumental. We have a live band that backs us up. I have to arrange charts for the band for all their songs.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
Everybody is singing backup in some way for each other. So the members of the group get to sing solo in the show as well. And we also prepare songs as a group, kind of in choral style. But we're not a bleeping choir, is my is my motto, because choir has like a dorky connotation. And I love choir. I grew up in choir. I think it's the best thing ever. But when I say choir to people, they're like, "Eh." When I say vocal group to people, they're like, "Oh, okay. Vocal group." I'm like, okay, so anytime anyone, choir is like a bad word in the studio.
That's
Um,
so funny.
yeah, it's really funny. I really want to make shirts that say we're not a expletives choir.
Yes, I love
Because that
it.
would be hilarious.
That would be so
Anyways,
good.
so I mean, I started that, and of course, I had a baby number one. I didn't have enough on my plate, so I started the show, which is a nonprofit performing arts company for singers and dancers ages, at the time it was 9 to 25. We've now since scaled it back to 16 to 25. So it's bridging the gap between pre-professional and professional. We're trying to keep talent local in the city, because what happened, Calgary is not like a metropolis for the arts. And what tends to happen is, if you're a really great singer or a really great dancer, you leave. You go to Vancouver, Toronto, LA, New York. Everyone gets into programs there, or they're like, "I'm just going to live the gig life and go to these bigger cities that have more opportunity." So this company is intended to create the opportunity here and keep our talent local. So that is
Mm.
the goal. But again, we were on hiatus in COVID. We just decided to shut down. I wasn't doing the online thing with dance. It was not going to happen. And we were just awarded a $20,000 grant to relaunch. So we've been
Amazing.
in this like relaunch phase to start in September again.
Oh my
So
gosh,
again,
Lauren.
been in front of lots of groups over my time, and that's really how I fill my studio, is always
Mm.
having a group on the go, whether it's my own creation or serving another group within the city. That is a really easy way to attract people to you, because they're
Mm.
attracted to you, the person. What I mean, I would say that most teachers, once have had an experience with them, you're like, "I like you. I want more," right? But
Yes.
sometimes people don't know how to show up online or don't know how to market themselves well, and you don't hear about them, or they don't care to market themselves, and people miss out on getting to work with them. So being with the groups definitely kind of shows my energy and what I'm capable of, and attracts people for private things. So yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that was so good, Lauren. Okay, that is such an interesting way to think about groups. You just like gave me so many aha moments there. That was awesome. Like, I think a lot of us think that groups are secondary to private lessons, or like they're the next step, or, oh, well, I'm going to get you as a student first. And then if I get enough students, I can fill a group. And I think there's a lot of fear. I feel myself like have these fears too around group. Do I fill it? How do I fill it? Where do I get people? What if no one shows up? What if only one person signs up? What if three people sign? Like, those types of things. And I
Mhm.
think we feel this kind of security around the fact that we have a studio, quote unquote, first, right? Then we can fill the groups. You're basically saying the opposite, which is fascinating. I freaking love this. I'm like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. My ears and eyes always like perk up when these things happen, because it's like, you're so right. And same with, I mean, everything you offer, right? Extremities and I didn't even know about your nonprofit until you're telling me about it. I'm like, okay, and then she's got that too. Like, you have so many things, but all of it is generating from this place of, what do the people want? What do the people want? That's so good, because you think about, oh gosh, I just love that people were like, let's get together and drink some wine and sing some songs. Like, I always bring this up to other voice teachers, Lauren, when I'm talking about creative offers, because I love your story. I'm like, people wanted that. They wanted a space that was comforting, that was a little loose, right? Alcohol helps people
Yeah.
lose their inhibitions a bit. And in case we didn't know, singing is really, really scary. It is a very scary thing for most people in the world. So you get a little bit of booze in there. Not saying that I'm saying it's necessary, but it does. It's like a fun way to kind of loosen everybody up. People want it. And then you go, huh, that's so interesting that they don't want to call it a choir. They want to call it a vocal group. And I'm going to make this kind of funny little tagline out of it. Like, genius, all good things, because you're really tuned into what your audience wants. And I love that so much, because especially thinking about those of us who do teach adult singers, like myself too, and a lot of people who listen to this podcast, adult amateur singers, it's really scary to show up to voice lessons. That's a big thing. It always like makes me chuckle when we just like unabashedly are like, yeah, pay me $300 a month to do voice lessons. Like, dude, that's a lot of money. And that requires a specific type of person. And what about everybody else who just wants to learn how to sing but doesn't want to invest in it, and also maybe isn't quite ready for a private lesson? So I love that so much, that you were really listening to your audience and you created this offer that is so cool. Every time you post about extremities, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I wish we had this where we were. Maybe I need to start something. Maybe I need to talk to you about this. But I love that so much. That is the way to do marketing. So awesome.
Yeah, it's a really fun group. Like, it's really hard to get into now because I have a capacity in the room, right? So
Wow.
I always have to release. I just yesterday released registration for the session that is starting in September. I released it yesterday at like 4:45, and 11 of the 18 spots are gone. And I know there are people on vacation that are still like wanting to come back. So it's
Right.
been, I just keep getting I just keep getting recurring students. And what happens is, because they have to sing solo, they don't have to, but because they choose to sing solo in our shows, they book private lessons. So
Good
I,
one.
I really do find my best customers are my current customers. They're the ones in the membership, and they're the ones that, do the subscriptions. And I really have a loyal following, but it's not a big following, but it's loyal, and they trust what I'm offering them is going to be valuable to them. So that's that's been really good.
Ugh, gold. That's it, Lauren. that's it. Because like, there's so much power in this word. I say it all the time, and then I say it and I'm like, oh, it feels kind of weird saying it, but I'm going to say it, leverage. And I mean it in the best way, right? Leveraging our paying people. I mean, there's this stat, and I talk about it inside of the program, but we'll share it here too, that 70%, roughly 70% of businesses across the board, all businesses, make their revenue from already paying customers. That's so big to think about, and that is a perfect example. It's like, come on into my world. Oh, you like this? Well, I got this little offer here. Yeah, come on. Oh, and then I got this thing over here. And then bada bing. And they're just like, that is so true. I love what you said too about character and personality, because I find this to be true too, where if someone vibes with you, and this is like anybody, it could be a coach, it could be a teacher, it could be your choir director, whatever. Choir director, that's kind of a funny example, but basically anybody that you are inspired by, you will pay them whatever. Doesn't matter. You don't care. You're like, yeah, you're offering that. Okay, I'll pay you. I'll do that. Like, you just love them. It doesn't matter what they offer. They could offer you socks that say, we're not a flippin' choir. And you'd be like, I will totally buy those socks. Like,
I think they would buy those socks, actually.
Get some big giant, those like big knee high.
Yeah.
And put them on the side there. Oh my gosh. Totally. I love it. That is so good. Lauren, so good. Okay. So I'm so fascinated by you because something else that you do too that I love is you have been writing music. And another thing you've been adding to your pot of vocal activities here. Apparently this girl's writing a musical.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the reason I'm bringing this up is because what I love that you're doing and that you've been posting about is you're like, it's 6 a.m. Rise and shine. Here I am with my coffee in the studio trying to write some music. And what I love about that is that that's who you are. You're like, I got 24 hours in a day. So this is what we're doing at 6 a.m. before I get my kids out the door. Because you have 2 kids who are like school-aged children that you're also taking care of. So can you tell us, maybe give us like a glimpse into your life in terms of how you manage your time? Because that is such a skill that you have that I'm blown away by. And I just, now that I'm even hearing you have another thing to your plate that I didn't know, girl, how do you do it? Tell us how you do it.
Well, I drink coffee in the morning and alcohol at night. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I actually stopped drinking alcohol because it doesn't allow me to have a good sleep. So, number one, get a good sleep. That's number one. That's the only way I can be as efficient and as like on as I always am, is because I sleep 8 hours or more every night. Very lucky. Not always, kids puke in the middle of the night sometimes, but for the most part, I get a good night's sleep. So that's where we start. When I decided I am co-writing the musical with somebody else, so the script is done and I'm basically writing the music for it, I could not see a time in my day when that was going to fit in, because I have a schedule that I have to adhere to, and I definitely have like signposts within the day. Like picking up my son at school is like a firm, you can't shift that. That has to happen. You have to leave the house at 3 o'clock every day. So those are things that are kind of my pillars, where I'm like, I'm working up to that point or working after that point when I get home. And I block that. Even pickups I block in my calendar so I know where the openings are. So in terms of like the musical, this is a passion project. Currently it makes me $0. It may never make me any money, and that's okay. But I was like, the only time I'm gonna be able to write is 6 a.m. And quite frankly, it's beautiful. I've never done that before with anything else. I'm not like a journaler. I don't wake up and, meditate. But this 6 a.m. sort of became my meditation time, where I'm like, I'm going to create now. And sometimes it's garbage and sometimes it's brilliant.
Yes.
And that's just what happens. But I didn't beat myself up if I woke up at 6:15, let's say, as opposed to 6, and I just at 7 a.m. I had an alarm that would go off, and I had to basically just drop what I was doing and turn into mom mode. So mom mode's like, breakfast, make the lunches, get people dressed, teeth, go to school. And then my day truly starts when I get back from dropping everybody off at school. Time blocking is the only way I can do anything. So
Mm.
I really try to fit exercise in 4 times a week. That is blocked. It is in the schedule, and there's a financial penalty if I don't show up to class. So I actually show up to class.
Good. That's good. Yes.
Um, and then I always have a window after. So I actually even time block like my showers and stuff like that. So if I know the workout's not going to be super intense and I'm not going to get sweaty, I'm actually not going to shower after the workout. And then I know I have that time to do work and so on and so forth. And my pillars of the day are like, do I see people in person? Because those are not movable hours. And I can't do anything else other than be with that student in that hour. And then picking up my son at school, not movable. Or if there's a scheduled class. So everything that happens around that, I'm scheduling in. So I do this on Monday. I don't try not to work on the weekend. Obviously, there are some exceptions to that. But Monday morning, I sit down and I say, these are the things I want to accomplish this week. Where is this all going to fit in? And I get stressed out when there isn't time to fit it in. That's when my anxiety gets high because I'm like, well, this has to get done. When am I going to do it? And that's when I start to feel the anxiety because then when I go into parenting mode, I'm thinking about all the stuff that I'm not doing. So
Mm.
I have a great partner. I have a beautiful husband. He is wonderful. And sometimes I will say to him, I have to not exist between 6 and 9 p.m. And that's not ideal because that's like dinner, bedtime, all of that. And I just ask, you just have to ask for that time. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes you need extra time. You don't,
Yeah.
there aren't enough hours in a day, and
Hmm.
not every 24 hours are equal for everybody. So really making sure that you ask for what you need, basically.
So good. I have like a million follow-up questions. Where do we even go from here? Because that was so good. And I totally agree that I really think that actually is kind of like, at least for me, becoming my new baseline, which is asking for help. And, I think moms, we have a new paradigm in which it's like there was, at least for me, it was like there was a distinct pre-mom chapter of like, maybe I'll ask for help, and then my mom chapter is like, no, I give me the help, like it's like demanding. I was like, it's not even asking, I'm like, you will help me. But I love that so much because we need that. It's like there is something very wonderful about being like, I am giving my best. I do my time blocking. I got my shit together. And you know what? Sometimes I still need help. I'm a human and, never feel any shame about asking for help. I'm really curious about the time blocking thing and momentum slash motivation, because something that you and I really jived on right when we first connected with one another was our love of atomic habits and our love of like habits and like making good habits and consistency and practice, so much so that when you and I were working closely together, and then when you were going through the curriculum inside of the program, you made a whole course on this exact thing.
Yes.
Your Sing for Six is literally all about consistency and practice. And so
Yes.
when I hear that you say things like, oh, I just, on Mondays, I time block and I do my thing, I'm over here like, okay, I do that too. And I love it. And I'm a Virgo and I love my planner. Like basically nothing else is more important to me than my planner. And at the same time, I find myself having weeks where I'm like, this is that week where I just, gah, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't, like, I can, of course, we're always choosing not to, but it's that momentum piece. It's that motivation piece,
Mhm.
right? It's like that feeling of like, what do we do when we don't want to do this anymore? How do you get through resistance? How do you get through those days where it's like you have your calendar? Like, do you ever feel like that where you're just like, damn, this is
Yes,
not what I want to be doing today? What do
right.
you do?
You go to the lowest hanging fruit. So you basically go to the thing that you know you can do, even if it's something really small, even if it's something like fold the laundry. Like I don't have the capacity to like work on my membership. I'm just gonna go fold this laundry. You're
Yeah.
just trying to move your own needle forward, whether that's like in your household, in your business, in your relationship. I totally have weeks like that. I would be lying if I said I didn't have weeks like that. Of course I do. And we always just have to remember that all the deadlines we are setting as entrepreneurs are arbitrary
Yeah.
and we can move them. Like I set a goal this week that I was going to film 6 videos for my membership. Now, I happen to have accomplished that. But
You're
in my
amazing.
head, in my head, I was like, I can ask for that time on Sunday because we're going on vacation very soon and I can't do it when I'm on vacation. I can do that. I can ask for the time on Sunday if I don't get it done during the week. Like I just
Mm.
had a backup plan. And then my backup plan was if it doesn't get done, no one's going to die. And nobody even knows that that was a deadline. So
Yes.
let's just keep going.
Yes.
But you have to
Okay.
remind yourself of that, right? Because it's really easy to be like, I didn't get all the things I said I was going to do. It's like, nobody knows you were supposed to send an email to your mailing list. Nobody knows. Nobody even knows you send emails every Tuesday. You do,
Yeah.
but nobody knows. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Just if you need that time or you're not feeling it, just don't do it. You're the boss, right?
Mm. So true. And I love what you said. It's such a really poignant way of saying this. I've never said this or thought about it. And it was so like you just brushed it off, but you said you just move your own needle. That is so good, Lauren, because it's so true. Like we get really caught up in like, and I say this term all the time, move the needle in your business, move the needle in your business, right? Okay, that's your business. Then there are days where it's like, just fold the laundry. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't even fold the laundry, you just fold one shirt, like whatever you need to do that day is okay. And totally agree about, these kind of arbitrary deadlines. What's funny about the arbitrary deadlines, I feel, is they become these arbitrary rules. And they become these rules that like dictate our everyday life. I just had this happen to me actually a couple weeks ago. It was 4th of July. I didn't post a podcast. I had one scheduled that day. And I had this ripple effect, where like we're renting our house out, which is why I have a different background right now. And there's all these things happening. And I was like, I just can't get these recordings done. And I kept rescheduling with you like a couple times, and all these things. And I was having such stress about the podcast. Like, oh my God, I gotta get this episode. And I was like, wait a minute. I gotta get this. Where did this rule come? Who made up this rule? Did my podcast listeners write to me and be like, well, I really hope that I see an episode on 4th of July? No, and they don't care. And if I miss a week, it's fine. And it's interesting how that can really cause us to become in this like analysis paralysis mode where it's like, suddenly we have all these rules. We're supposed to do, I'm sure you felt this, we got to do all the things and then we can't do any of the things. It's like, we're like, oh, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much. I can't do it. I'm just not doing it all. Netflix. But yeah, that's so true. We can always just give ourselves a plan B and then a what's the worst case scenario, and then you realize like it's really not a big deal. It's okay.
It's really not a big deal. I know. I really am. I am bad for that. But one thing I think I should give myself credit for is I just try to do something. What's something I can do, right? It's very rare that, I mean, it's happened, but if I'm in a very low time, okay, I'll just be like, I can only sit here right now. I can't do anything. But, sometimes taking a nap is productive. Sometimes going to the gym is productive. Burning out that anxiety or cortisol that you've built up is productive because that's going to make you better for the latter part of your day. It
Mm.
is it is hard though to think of it that way. It's taken me so long to think of it that way. And it's hard in the summer too, right? You're like, it's so nice outside. What are we doing making videos on a Thursday and it's plus 30? Like, but you know what? Now it's done. We're good.
It's
And
done, girl.
then you feel good about it. But yeah, there's lots of
Mm.
trial and error. And I will say that, and you'll notice this as your son grows up, is their needs change. So
Yeah.
now my son has homework. And so me teaching in the evenings is less ideal for our family because someone's got to make dinner and someone's got to watch someone else do their homework. And then we have another child who doesn't do homework yet, but like needs love and care and attention. And, it's always changing. And now they have activities. So you're driving in the evening. And I don't want to just leave that all to my husband. I did that for about 6 weeks this year, and it doesn't work for our family. That was a
Mm.
time when we were stressed out. But you try it and you learn.
Yeah.
That's all you can take away from whatever you're doing is like, you try it, did it work? Yes, great. No? Okay, let's keep doing something else.
Yes, I love that so much. This is actually the most perfect segue into what I was going to ask you next. It's kind of two-pronged though, because you're bringing up so many other ideas that aren't in my notes here. One of them is, self-care. You brought up like resting is productive. Taking care of our bodies is productive. And I'm so glad you brought that up because some of my new mantras that I've been playing with, and everybody steal these, they're so much fun. Resting is a money-making activity. Ooh.
Say more.
Yeah. Playing, money-making activity. Hiking, money-making activity. Camping, money-making activity. Like everything that brings us joy, everything that takes care of our well-being is how we create more abundance. So I just love that you said that because I was going to bring up, okay, self-care, and if that was something that was a part, like a non-negotiable basically is kind of what you're basically saying to me and to everybody is that you have these non-negotiables that are like, yeah, my 3 o'clock, my kid, I got this. And then there are those days where some of those things drop and that's okay too. I just love that so much. It's so interesting, I feel, especially when you have like your son who's growing up and then your daughter and this mom role of not just like where I'm at with my toddler, which is like, don't kill yourself. It's like all I'm doing is like, stay alive, Cadence, and don't run into the street, right? But you're like actually helping them with homework and all of these things. I feel like the more that we embark, especially as parents in this parenthood journey, and especially if we are running our own businesses, the more we get to practice really working smarter. And smarter meaning there is no more room for bullshit tasks. There is literally no time for that at all. And I find personally, I am still always to this day, continually every day learning what is a bullshit task and what is not. Because there's so many things in online business that's like, and now create a Canva post that's going to take 3 hours to get your one idea across. And you're like, how does this take so long, right? So I'm just really curious, like in terms of when you are creating your priority list and you are writing all of your things down, how do you know and like how do you tap into what is productive and what is busy? Like when you're looking at your list and you're like, this is actually something that matters and this is worth my time and this is actually something that's not worth my time. Like do you have a process that you kind of go through? I know that I didn't even give you this note to think about. I'm just so curious because everyone has to make decisions and it's really fun to hear how people make decisions in their own life.
This is going to sound extremely superficial, but if it doesn't make money, it's not a priority. So the 3 hour Canva post, I'm not doing that if I'm busy. That's not happening. I might consider doing something similar to that in a less busy time, or I'm going to hire someone to do that for $25 an hour because my time is worth more than $25 an hour at this point. So it's worth it to me to have someone else do it and, give their all in that task. And I just pay them to do that. That said, things like passion projects like writing a musical or something, that's filling your cup in a different kind of way. So it doesn't apply necessarily to everything, but I mean, that's where I start. Does it make money? No, I'm not doing it. Second, I always serve my current customers first, even over my own to-do list. If someone in my membership, you know, needs feedback on a video they've sent me, I start there. If I have, agreed to create them some sort of, I'm making this up, practice tracker, I make that first. So whatever my students need, I do that and I serve them first because they're the people that are giving me the money.
Yes.
And then secondary is the social media posts or adding more content to my membership. So I have this discussion all the time, mostly with myself, where I'm like, okay, my membership has X amount of videos in it. I can see that most people haven't done all of them. So if I add more, is that going to overwhelm people? But I want to add more because I want them to have this information. And I have that sort of discussion. So I actually haven't added any new videos since January. And now I've since filmed 6 new ones that are going to be edited and ready to drop. But you don't always have to be creating. There's stuff there for them to use. If they want more, it's there. I can see in my dashboard what they've done and what they haven't done.
So good. I
Yeah.
love that. Productive does not necessarily mean you have to be producing. Ooh, okay. I got
Right.
it. That's so good. I love that so much. And I love what you said about serving your clients first. That is so good. That's exactly how we should always all operate our businesses. And I think it gets so easy to get way wrapped into the Instagram and TikTok and now thread rabbit hole, right? And then be like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't need to be making a post right now. Like, I need to tend to the people who are already paying me. So very, very good advice. I love that.
I've down prioritized social media because I don't want more clients.
Wow.
you know,
Yes.
we use social media to get recognition. I look at other voice teachers who have 50,000 followers and I'm like, what are they doing with all those people? I'm
Right.
like, I think that would stress me out to have that many. If I have a really good post, let's say, and I get 300 new followers in a day, I'm like, 300 new followers. And then I don't know what to do with myself.
Yes.
And I feel a lot of pressure to deliver for them. But when I'm not
Yes.
thinking about them as much, I stay there to be present and to show up and to give some knowledge here and there. But I don't go there to get new clients, really. I haven't gotten many new clients from social media. It's mostly word of mouth and with the groups that I work with. But I have gotten some, so it's not totally lost.
I love that social media can be that for us, right? Where it can be this kind of platform that's like, you know what? I do want to get more clients. I'm going to put a lot of work into it. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't really want. I'm going to just kind of hop on when I can type thing. And that's great. And I totally agree. Whenever I see, big voice teachers that don't have a scalable system, I'm like, how do you guys do this? I mean, how do you even answer DMs? Like, that's my number one question is, how do you even go through all this DMs? So I totally agree. Big numbers does not necessarily mean better. It's all about quality of relationships, as we're learning from you. Okay, I have one last question for you, and this is so much fun. So you have built these courses. I mean, I guess, let's see, we have Sing for Six and the Infinite Singer
Mhm.
membership. And I
Yes.
know that, I know that as a voice teacher who's trying to build an online course at the same time, it can feel like a crazy thing. Like it can feel a little nuts. And you've now done it multiple times. So I'm just so curious your experience with it. Can you just maybe give us a little glimpse into some of the takeaways or lessons or approaches that you had when you were creating these programs? Because these are big programs, and girl has like over 100 videos or something nuts in Sing for Six, right? Like I don't, it's just so mind-boggling to me.
Now.
Okay,
Okay, so
107 videos.
Sing for Six started as a 30-day challenge. So I was like, all we need to do is do something for 6 minutes each day, and we are going to feel like we've made some progress. And it really does make a difference and work. I mean, it works with Duolingo. It works with, like if you were to do push-ups for 6 minutes a day, like you would start to feel a difference. It really does work for singing. I know it's been out there since 2021 and people are still using it. So I made 30 videos and I sort of just obsessively made them. And as I was making them, I was thinking, well, I need a template because if I have this vocal exercise, we're not just going to do it once. We're probably going to do it 6 or 7 times within those 30 days. So I had a spreadsheet, day 1, day 30, and then I had a list of all of the vocal exercises. There were about 30 that I just decided were important. And then I had a bunch of different syllables. So I was basically doing different permutations of like, okay, this exercise on this syllable, this exercise on this syllable. And then, so none of the days are the same. You do have recurring exercises and recurring syllables, but never the same exercise in the same syllable. So once I made templates for that, it was just drag and drop, right? Making the template was tough. But once I had the template, it was easy. So I was just drag and dropping. So I made, after the first 30 days, I was like, okay, well, I could make another 30. That's no problem. So I made another 30. But then I gave everyone a survey. And they were like, we think your intro music is too loud. We think your intro music is too long. We would like to know what vocal exercise we're singing. We want to see the notes on the screen. And I was like,
Oh my God.
So I remade them all with their feedback. And you know what? Now nobody's commented on that again, and they're so happy, and that's how we go now. So there are 60 videos. I have additional modules in there. But how the program keeps building is every week I do a live session. So these are longer. They're 15 minutes long. They check in on Zoom. We do an affirmation, we do some stretches, we do some SOVTs, and then we get and do the exercises, and I record them and I put them in the dashboard. So now I have like 174 videos in there.
Got
That
it.
started with like 70, but I've done so many live sessions because you do one every week that's how I keep it fresh. So really, you can never get bored of that program because there's so much to choose from. You can have a new workout every second day, which is great. And we know as voice teachers, the repetition of the same workout is actually beneficial. And then as you progress, you want something new, kind of like going to the gym and plateauing. So that one's really self-sustaining. But because it's so simple for me to maintain now, it's become an add-on to the Infinite Singer. So if people join Infinite Singer, which is my membership, they get Sing for Six for free, meaning I don't have to create warm-up videos for my Infinite Singers because they're getting Sing for Six along with it, because the work would just be duplicative, just with like new branding of the other program, and I didn't want to do that. I was just like, that is not a smarter move. That's a harder move.
Yes.
And so people who sign up for Infinite Singer now get Sing for Six. Now, Infinite Singer is a membership. That's like topics, learn to sing. But the whole program starts with like setting up your system, making a plan for yourself, setting your goals, taking a baseline video recording, and then we go through the topics. We also have office hours, much like you do in Voicepreneur, where people bring the problems, and it's such a fun hour. Because I don't have to prepare anything, right? I just show up and I listen to what people are struggling with. And B, everybody's learning from everybody else. And I can see people nodding as other people are talking. I'm struggling to find motivation. Let's talk about it. I'm struggling with this song because of this one high part. Let's sing it. And we actually do it in the class and we do it together. And they'll say, like, my director has asked me to scat. I don't even know where to start. I'm like, okay, great, let's do it.
Yes.
I did a whole lesson on scatting last week, and I didn't think that was what they were going to bring. Anyways, master classes,
Ah,
video submissions, a beautiful community on Slack. I took it out of Facebook and put it onto Slack because I'm finding Facebook very distracting to people, and a lot of people don't have it anymore. So, Slack has been very good for that, and it really highlights how private it is because people really know that it can't accidentally get out. It's just in
yes.
our little area. So we submit videos, they get a prompt of the week. The prompt of the week is something like sing a song that reminds you of summer. This week's prompt is sing over the rainbow in whichever style you want to. So
Love it.
it
Yes.
sort of steers them to do something if they're feeling unmotivated. It's like, oh, Lauren told me what to do. I'll just do that, you know? And it's been working well. So, but when I was preparing Infinite Singer, I actually stopped teaching privately.
Mm.
I blocked 3 months off. And let me tell you, this comes from a place of privilege. My husband has an income, right? So I could easily say, okay, I'm not teaching privately. I did keep extremities because the consistency for them is key and it's really the most fun to teach them. But during the day when my kids were at school and daycare, I would just work on this membership. I didn't try to teach privately, make a membership, you know, build a
Mm.
sales page, yada yada. Like I just took the time to do that, and I had people doing the beta phase of it at the same time. So while I had some prepared videos, let's say I had one topic, pre-recorded videos, no problem. If I didn't have pre-recorded videos for this other topic, I would do a live training. And the live training
Mm.
is what would go into that module until I do pre-recorded videos. Because the live training is an hour. Some people don't want to sit and watch a 1 hour video. So the pre-recorded ones are like more succinct, they're scripted, they're shorter, and but they take more time. I have to like set up lighting and put my keyboard in the right spot, and but
Right.
once
Mm.
you get into the flow of it, it's so much easier. And I'm going to tell you a secret, vocal teachers. Use a teleprompter. It has changed my life because I can put bullet points there. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to be like, you know. And also, everything gets fixed in editing. You could sound like a total idiot when you're doing the video, and you will sound smart at the end, I promise. I definitely say things where I'm like, that's not even right. Why did I say that? But you just edited it out. It's fine.
Yep.
Fix it in post. That's my favorite
Yes.
phrase. Fix it in post. Except once
Wow.
I did record a video where I had a big lipstick mark on my tooth.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm
Yes.
not gonna re-record that. If they want to watch it, and I'm just, what can I do?
Yes, I love that. I always respect that so much when I like see like especially like mentors and people who are just like, you know what? Less F's, here you go. The end. Like this is it. You just gave us so many good little ideas. That was so good. And I especially love what you said about if it's not pre-recorded, I'm just gonna do it live. That is like, girl, yes. You know what I love about that? That to me, it's like it's interesting being a business owner and being a voice teacher, I feel, because voice teaching, we love our subject. Anybody that we talk to that is a vocal coach, if we talk to them about voice, we will talk forever, right? We like know so much about our craft. This is why we do what we do. And then for some reason, when it comes to business, not for some reason, it makes perfect sense. We didn't have business like skills or knowledge or anything like that that was, that we had in college or anything.
But with business, we tend to overanalyze everything, right? It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, now I gotta like write this perfectly grammatical email. It's like, everything just something in our brain switches where it becomes so much more complicated. But if we talk about voice teaching, it's like not at all because it's second nature to us. And I love that you are finding this really cool kind of blend where the voice teaching thing is so natural to you. And now this like business decision making is also so natural to you. For you to be like, you know what? I'm not going to overcomplicate making this membership. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It is so much more important to me that people are in the program paying and that they get the value out of it. Who the hell cares how that happens? So I'm going to do a live. I trust myself. I trust my skills as a voice coach. I trust the stuff that I teach. I know that I'm a good teacher, that I could teach this easily live and that it would be very valuable, right? And not be like, oh my God, I'm doing it live and that I don't have the pretty Canva like visuals on the video. Like we just overcomplicate everything. So I just love that you are like so smart and savvy with all of the things you talked about, the community, how people interact with each other, how they're basically learning from each other. Like all of that stuff is so freaking good. I love it so much. You are doing it. It is so great. Oh, so good, Lauren.
But it does take time. I really do think like the words passive income is also kind of misleading
So
because
misleading. Mm-hmm.
it is not. What it is it allows you to go on vacation and still make money. So in that regard, it is. But when you're working and you're working to improve your membership or create it, that's a shit ton of work. It just is. It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling how many hours I've put into this, and I probably haven't made my money back, but it's okay. People are in it. I'm making money. It's working. Once the videos
Yes.
are done, they're done. So
Yes.
that's nice, right?
So nice.
So every
Exactly.
time you finish a video, pat yourself on the back and be like, I did another one that I never have to do again. Very good.
Yes. Yes, exactly. You're so right. It is so much upfront work. And it is an interesting work thing because it's not ever passive, right? It's like you're showing up to these calls. I'm showing up to my group calls too. But then it's so wonderful when you're like, actually, I'm doing the same exact amount of work that I would for one as I would 1,000. And
Mhm.
that's for me, that's always the key of like, okay, it's a lot of work, but once it's done. And then come on, people, like bring it on. Like
That's so
there's so
good.
much. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, this was so much fun. I could talk to you forever about all of the things. You are such a badass business owner, girl. Like seriously, such an inspiration to us. Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
can't wait to see what you're going to do with Infinite Singer and all the things. I mean, you just launched that what, like a couple weeks ago? When did
Yeah.
you launch that?
I launched it 2 weeks ago, but I have been running beta since September. So I've
Oh,
had people in it
wow.
since September.
For a while. Okay.
Yeah, just working out the kinks and seeing what people like and dislike and process. For example, I was doing live trainings once a month, and prepping for those was starting to be very stressful. So I turned them into office hours to make it easier
Yes.
for myself. And people like it just as much, if not more, which is amazing.
Yep.
And uh, just continuing to create content for that, but people have enough to do, and I give them little things to do also in Slack. So it was a really great way to know what people liked and what people didn't. Also, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. I think that's
Mm,
really important to not take that personally. Some people just want to pay the premium and come in person. Okay, great, let's do that.
yep.
But the people that can't afford it, this is a great price point. And the people that want more attention, they come for a lesson maybe once a month, use the program for the rest of the month, and that's a good flow for them. So, you can
Mm.
offer it in many different iterations to people as well.
Love that so much. That's so good. Well, it's going to be so great, and I can't wait to see it grow and do all amazing things. And I just know you're just like me. It's going to be only a few months from now where it's going to be like, here's another idea, and here's another thing I'm doing, and here's that. Like, it's good.
Well, there might be another course coming out in September.
I knew it. I knew it. All right. Well, we will circle back when that comes back around. I'm so excited to hear about it. Okay. Well, thank you again, Lauren, so much for being here.
Again.
Absolutely. Anytime. Have a good one.
Wasn't that awesome? Oh my goodness. I loved hearing Lauren's story and all of the wisdom that she shared. If you want to stay connected with her, be sure to go and follow her on Instagram at Singsana YYC or over on her website at singsana.com. And Singsana is spelled Sing, S-I-N-G, Sana, S-A-N-A, singsana.com. And if you want to learn the exact framework that Lauren used to build her online programs and her membership and to scale her business in general, come and check out the Voicepreneur program. She is a member of VP. She has been for a while. Shout out to you, Lauren. And there are just so many amazing resources and trainings for you to grow and scale your online teaching business just like Lauren did. So go and check it out with the resources below this video or episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to share it with your voice teacher friends and share your takeaways with us over on Instagram. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next episode.